maybe the greatest thing about being here this weekend, as much as I love riding, and it's been good so far for me this weekend, is seeing all my buddies. You know, like I've got a lot of friends that I don't see, you know, day in day out during my other life with business and kids and stuff. And it's great to get out to the racetrack. This is the best event of the year by far, as everybody knows. We've got great weather, good weekend, and this morning I saw two of my heroes in the sport. Gord Bush has been a longtime friend and supporter of mine, but he's an amazing tuner. He worked with me a few years ago on Honda, and we had some great results and the fastest bike I've ever ridden. And so I said hello to Gord and his son this morning, and I bumped into Art Robbins down on the stairs. And Art's one of the reasons, not one, he's probably the reason I love racing so much early on. He was my hero at Shannonville. I always wanted to be like Art, and you know, here I am still 20, I don't know how many years later this is, but I'm having a blast. And looking down on the track now, we got the Honda 250s, and all these guys are kind of starting out, and most of them are starting out in their careers. I don't know about David Booth and Costas and people like that, Neil Graham. I don't know what they're doing still out on those bikes. They're almost my age, I think. It's great to be here.
Well, Michael, it's always great to see you out there. I mean, how you 2 weeks ago? It was just 2 weeks ago that you had your off at Tremblant and broke your femur, and you had surgery, and you had a rod put in that. Is that correct?
Yeah, I got a nail installed, which I've had that kind of work done before, so I kind of knew what to expect. And I honestly didn't expect that I'd be as happy about it as you know, not happy about the crash. It screwed my chances for the championship. And racing against Steve at Tremblant and here to try to gain that. We were having a good weekend up to that point at Tremblant. I made a mistake. It's my fault. I'm living with it now. But yeah, the pain is much less than you would expect, considering how major the surgery was and everything. But they did a great job, and I'm doing my best to get back in the swing of things. I love riding. I love riding here. It's a little easier to ride fast at most sport. Or sorry, doctor downstairs. I'm not riding fast. I'm riding careful. Easier to ride fast here than most other tracks. It's very flowing, very smooth. It's easier on your body, and it sure is great, you know, hustling around this track, looking at all the fans up in corner 3 and coming onto the front straight. It's an amazing experience. I'm so glad to be a part of it.
What is it like wrestling that 500-pound Harley Davidson around? I mean, this track probably better than most. As you say, it's a flowing track. Some of the other tracks like Saint Eustache, much more stop and go, probably a little more physical. But what is it like to ride that, especially now where you're not maybe at 100%?
Well, you know, it's no doubt it's a big motorcycle. My Mackey's Harley Davidson XR 1200. It's not as light as the bikes that I grew up racing, you know, but surprisingly, it's less manageable in the pits than it is on the racetrack. It's a heavy bike, and it steers kind of quick, feels wobbly when you're going 5 miles an hour, but once you get up at riding speed, everybody ought to try one. It's the greatest bike ever for a guy like me who's just out to enjoy himself and still go fast. You know, you can lean that thing over to the pegs, and it handles really, really well. Dual shock. They've done their homework. They did an amazing job with a, you know, technically outdated design, but man, does the thing ever work nice, and it looks cool as hell too.
It is. You definitely know when they're going around track, especially in a group, you're not going to miss that. So that's sort of the speed you like going at these days. You look at some of the BMW S1000RR, some of the other bikes out there for running in superbike. That maybe, yeah, you could go that fast, but maybe don't want to do it for 20 laps. Where the Harley is more, you can push that hard and just be comfortable and enjoy it at this point.
Yeah, you know, it's a lot. Few people have asked me that question. Would you like? I mean, I raced a BMW, had a blast here. I won the championship for them, 2007 on a Boxer twin, and I've kind of been riding more old style bikes for the last few years of my racing career. I just like it. You know, I like, you're still going fast. The thrills are still the same, and I don't know if I'd enjoy all the traction controls and stuff like that. I watched a MotoGP last night for the first time this year, and it, you know, yeah, they lean over real far and everything else, but from what I hear, a lot of the guys are not enjoying all of the technical advances. You can kind of get, sometimes what you want isn't really what you want, you know, and I don't think I'd enjoy Superbike anymore. I'm just as happy as can be right where I'm at. You can expect to see me out next year, God willing, and Mackie willing. Mackie's been the greatest sponsor, been supportive, and I want to put a word out right now. Any of the track officials, doctors, anybody else, or anybody that wants a burger, we've got a great big barbecue going on right behind the tower, down with a bunch of the other my friends in the Harley series. Anybody come by at lunch, and free burgers on me.
All right, well, now, racers and free food, and they'll be a line to the other side of the pits, I think.